You think you're cool, but what I see, you're just a fool. You're just like me. So take a tip. I found it's true. Every step you skip will come back on you. Why can't you tell her what you're feeling? Is it really going to be so hard? If you don't show the cards you're dealing, she will find someone else to take her heart. You love her touch, it's what you need. But you talk so much that you pay no heed to what is there, right there in her eyes. I think it's time for you to realize your life will last forever till it's over. What will you do before it ends? Right now you've got time to think it over, so why not try to make amends? Why do you hide inside your shell? Is it your pride that you got so well? You're in control, that's what you think. 'Cause you've sold your soul and you've lost everything. Why are you acting like a robot? You know that you could ask for more. If you don't realize what you got, you're gonna find out she shut the door. You act so strong, but it's a game. You know it won't last long, 'cause we're all the same. We're all the same. Yes, we're all the same. Thanks very much. We met a woman here earlier on who was she's the only person I've ever met who can claim to have been run down by a piano. I thought that was a great story. Anyway, it turned out that she had worked on cruise ships as a piano player, and it was a particularly rough sea this night, and they hadn't put the brakes on the wheels of the piano properly, and at some point she saw it heading towards her. Luckily she ducked and it ran over the top. You know, would they really ever believe that in the hospital? I was run down by a piano, mate. Okay, this is my attempt to write a romantic song to an ex-girlfriend. The fact that I compared it to a vegetable, I think, wasn't a good thing to have done. But my attempt to be... I love vegetables, so I thought it was a great compliment, actually. If you were a vegetable, which one would it be? Not one which lives under the ground that no one else can see. I think you'd be a broccoli with elegance and style, with a big green hat on top of your head to make everybody smile. Oh yeah, that's just the way it is. And if you were an animal running in the open space, I think you'd be a tall giraffe, moving with speed and grace. You'd always find the highest leaves because they taste the best, and you would share them with your friends before you ate the rest. Ooh, oh yeah, that's just the way it is. Tell us, Helen? Of this I can be sure. I think you would be a Jaguar, a shining from door to door. You'd mark your place out in the road. You know when to give way. You'd wink your lights when it turned to green before you drove away. Oh yeah, that's just the way it is. Structure, I think I know the one. You would be the London Eye and give everybody fun. You would keep on turning slowly, never stay the same. From the highest highs to the lowest lows, always enjoy the game. Oh yeah, that's the way it is. Can we have another one, Helen? Yeah. That's just the way it is. The way it is. That's just the way it is. Thank you very much. I think we're now officially past the day when anyone can justifiably ask anyone else if they had a nice Christmas. But we're still allowed to wish you a happy new year. Blow it in now with that. Yeah? Is that right? Yeah. I'm a Wrexham boy. We didn't, unfortunately, when I was a kid, a little bit of politics here. No Welsh in school in Wrexham when I was growing up. So, you know, there's been change for the better. So I'm useless. I'm officially, you know, I'm across the border by about 10 miles. I do get the passport, but I haven't got the language yet. But, you know, we can know how to ask for a beer and stuff like that. Okay, this is, this little song is about surgical enhancement, which, I don't know, maybe somebody got a gift certificate for Christmas for a new something, you know, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if those kind of things got given. I heard on the news that Ann Summers sold 20,000 pairs of furry handcuffs this year, and they put it all down to a certain book which had a certain color in it and a number of different shades, yeah? So, you know, anything's possible. So they were asking a selection of husbands, how would you feel if you got a pair of these for Christmas? They didn't really know how to answer, but I didn't get a pair, I'm happy to say, but... So, Plastic Fantastic. Susan thinks she isn't thin enough, and Sally's trying to put on weight. Tom's just had his double chin reduced because he thinks he's past his sell-by date. And Brenda's got some brand new frontal projections. She hopes the men are going to stare, but they're too busy worrying how long they're going to keep their hair. Rita's going to get some fat sucked out. She wants her thighs to be the best. She's hoping that the surgeon can do some recycling and put it back on her chest. And Fred is going to have a facelift, wants to lift his spirits too, 'cause with his wrinkles gone, he'll soon be moving on to do all the things you know he wants to do, because the world is full of mirrors if you want to keep an eye on you. And you can spend an awful lot of time and money trying to look the way you think you ought to do, but maybe no one cares what your profile looks like or how many nips and tucks you make. But you will always know if you're an original or just a fake. Neil's just had a nose job. He bought it on the internet. He didn't know he'd have to fly out to Moscow. Hasn't dared look in the mirror yet. And Lucy's had her lips expanded. Now she's got a permanent pout. You know her boyfriend didn't recognize her. He said it kind of freaked him out. And Barbara thinks her bum's too big. It's hard for her to really see. Her friends all say it isn't oversized, just the way it's supposed to be. Still she went to the plastic surgeon to see what could be trimmed. See, I never quite get that one right. We'll try that one again. He said she should do some more horizontal jogging, and please could it be with him. And the world is full of mirrors if you want to keep an eye on you. And you can spend an awful lot of time and money trying to look the way you think you ought to do, but maybe no one cares what your profile looks like or how many nips and tucks you make. Will always know if you're an original or just a fake. Thanks ever so much. I think this one's appropriate from the season that we've just enjoyed, and it's just to remind you all that if you don't buy stuff, you know, if you don't keep buying more stuff, then well, you know, what's going to happen to the economy? And I don't think you guys bought enough this year. That's what I'm hearing. There wasn't enough. Actually, I know a woman who runs a shop in Cardiff, and she said the big panic this year was up until a week before Christmas, nobody was buying anything. And then it suddenly went insane. Everybody suddenly realized, oh my God, I haven't got the nerve. I don't dare give her just a card or, you know, him. They all panicked and went out and spent all the money. So it came out okay. But I think up until a week before, we all had lots of sort of clever ideas about no presents this year. I do remember, I'll never forget it, the painful memory of thinking I had arranged with the woman I was living with at the time, this was many years ago, I really thought that we had arranged that we weren't going to give each other presents. I was absolutely sure. And then she shows up with a bunch of stuff and I didn't have anything. That is not a good look. That's really not a good place to be. So these days I always keep a few wrapped presents for any occasion. It's like it's become a sort of, you know, I'm traumatized by it. I always have a few wrapped presents in case somebody gives me something. I've got something to give back. Anyway, this is called I'm a Consumer. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I see what I want what I see. I flash a piece of plastic and it comes to me. I don't have any money, I really couldn't pay, but with the chink-a-chink credit, I can have it anyway. I'm a consumer. Yes, I'm a consumer. The only time I'm happy is when I bought something new. I spend a lot of money cause I've nothing else to do. I'll have to leave the country when my visa bill is due. I'm a consumer. In a shopping centre is a place I love to be. I would be in paradise if all of it was free. The internet keeps me awake, eBay is so cool. I'm winning everything I want, I'm nobody's fool. I'm a consumer. Yes, I'm a consumer. The only time I'm happy is when I've bought something new. I spend a lot of money cause I've nothing else to do. I think I'll have to leave the country when my visa bill is due. I'm a consumer. Tell it to us, Helen. I've got a brand new plasma screen TV. The Porsche I've had since Saturday looks pretty good to me. I took it for a road test. I had to give it back, cause when I saw the price of it, I had a heart attack. But I'm a consumer. Yes, I'm a consumer. You know the only time I'm happy is when I bought something new. Spent a lot of money cause there's nothing else to do. I'll have to leave the country when my visa bill is due. I'm a consumer. Well, early in the morning I go on a spending spree. A 2-for-1 is wonderful, I think that you'll agree. I had to rent a warehouse, I was running out of space, but I'm boosting the economy, so don't get in my face. I'm a consumer. Yes, I'm a consumer. You know the only time I'm happy is when I bought something new. I spent a lot of money cause I have nothing else to do. I'll have to leave the country when my visa bill is due. I'm a consumer. That's what we should all be these days. Come on. Get out there and spend some more money, folks. That song was funded with a grant from the Department of Economic Development. I wish. Excuse me. So you folks, are you going to see the Phantom? Is that the... Yeah. How long have we got you for? Captive audience. 10? Yeah, okay. We'll try and do the best stuff up front, you know. Oh, well, this is a bit more serious. This is called Old Man, which, of course, I'm not feeling. No, no, no. I saw an old man on the embankment. He was sitting there on his own, with a cardboard box for a suitcase and a hat looking for a home. I thought he looked in need of some friendship, so I asked him how his day had been. He looked me once in the eye, beginning to smile. He said, "It isn't the worst I've seen." He said, "I've known many friends in my lifetime. I've loved maybe once or twice. But the times that I remember most clearly, when no one was just trying to be nice." He said, "You feel like a fine kind of fellow. You remind me of how I once was. But the years flew away, though it seems like one day, and I'm sitting here now just because. I've never got rich in a money way. My wealth was of a different kind. But I've never been let down by my faith in life. I've tried not to be unkind. I've got a mind that's full of memories, all the good times that I can't forget. Maybe these are the most important things we can ever hope to get." Old man, thank you very much. Sorry for messing with the levels there. I think we're back to normal now. So, The Phantom of the Opera. Has anyone seen it before? Yeah, it's a good show. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't be back, would you, if it wasn't, I guess. A song about the future. What happened to all the free time the future was supposed to bring? I thought by now I'd have time to dig my garden or even learn how to sing. But I spent half my day reading emails, the other half writing back. Then I have to answer 1,000 mobile phone calls just to keep everything on track. My life feels like a sledge on Everest. It's all going by too fast. I've hardly had time to think about the future, and it's already become the past. I'm running faster and faster every day to stay in the same old place. I don't know how I got caught up in this new high-tech rat race. Thank you. One thing about this great stage is you never know what you're going to hear. I think people get exposed to all kinds of different music that, well, you come out to a show, you probably don't look to see who's on the stage before you come. So, obviously we're sort of blues-based. I've got to say, Helwyn is a fabulous violin player. She can play anything and everything, you know, jigs and reels and classical and fantastic. Greg is a multi-instrumentalist as well, so I'm very lucky to have these guys to make my stuff hopefully sound presentable. This next song was written in, I went to Zimbabwe a couple of years ago, and I was coming in, and I was amazed to see that there was this beautiful new airport building that had been constructed, because at the time the Zimbabwean economy had completely collapsed. I actually have a copy of a 100 trillion Zimbabwe dollar banknote. That's how crazy inflation can get before they stop printing them. You'd think when it got to $1 billion, it probably at that point they might have thought, let's forget it, you know, but they didn't stop at $1 billion, they didn't stop at $1 trillion. So it's amazing. The 100 trillion banknote, $100 trillion banknote was good for about 2 days, and you could only buy a loaf of bread with it anyway. And then they finally said, okay, we can't possibly fit any more zeros on, let's forget it. So people were left with bags full of cash, which they just lit the fire with. Anyway, the whole point of all this was just to tell you that I was sitting in, when the plane taxied in fact, the new airport building had only been half finished, and we pulled up to this little corrugated shack, which is where all the customs were, and I was sitting in there for about 5 hours waiting for a connection, and this is where this song came from. It was my attempt at a country song, using one of those country and western metaphors that they love so much, and this is called, I'm Sitting Here Waiting in the Departure Lounge of the Heart. Yeah. Well, one trip is over, the next one's about to begin. I'm sitting here thinking about the kind of mess I got myself in. It was over way too fast. It became just another part of my past. So I'm sitting here alone in the departure lounge of the heart. Well, planes keep leaving, I don't know which one to get on. I'd like to head down south, but I'm afraid it would take too long. You know, the north is awfully cold. It's a place where you can soon grow old. So I'm sitting here alone in the departure lounge of the heart. insurance, and I always travel light. I haven't got a ticket, cause I don't know yet which flight would be right. I left my baggage all behind, so I can have a little peace of mind. I'm waiting here alone in the departure lounge of the heart. But you know, the gate's now open. It's time for me to get on board. Had to get a cheap flight, cause that's all I could afford. The weather forecast fine, I know I'm gonna have a good time. So it's time to say goodbye to the departure lounge of the heart. Yeah, time to say goodbye to the departure lounge of the heart. Time to say goodbye to the departure lounge of the heart. Let's hope we don't crash. I just wondering if there's an equivalent of a life belt in a relationship, you know, something that you can wear in case it crashes and goes horribly wrong, to stop you from sinking. No, probably not. Perhaps there shouldn't be. Perhaps you should just, you know, invest everything and hope for the best. Every year about this time I got this, well actually it's not about this time, it's every year when I hear Slade yet again, I make a resolution that this year I'm going to write a better song, a better Christmas hit, and I'm going to be rich forever, because it's going to be played everywhere, and I've obviously completely failed so far, but this might be the year, you never know. Yeah. I read something the other day, I don't know if you heard this, you know that song Every Breath You Take by Sting has made that man $30 million just because they play it on the radio so much? Or more to the point, it's the most requested song for weddings, even though it's about a stalker and it's not a particularly nice song. So I want to write one of those. The checks just keep coming in, you don't have to bother. There's always hope. Probably more than buying a lottery ticket. This song is named after my son's favorite phrase, TMI, Dad, that's too much information. One, two, three, four. You told me all about your operation, things I didn't need to know. I heard how long the trip to hospital took because the ambulance was way too slow. I know all about your family background, the ways they didn't treat you right. How many times you had to walk away, you didn't want to start a fight. Too much information, it's all just TMI. Your mouth never seems to stop moving and your mind is never asking why. You know you're a legend in your own mind. I wish you'd keep it to yourself, because you're in my face, you fill my space, and it isn't good for my health. I was sitting by a woman on a mobile phone call. She was talking quite enough for two, telling a friend why she should leave her husband and all the things she ought to do. It was hard to know where to put myself when the details got too much to bear. Isn't it funny how someone can be surrounded by people and act as if there's no one there? much information. It's all just TMI. Your mouth never seems to stop moving, and your mind is never asking why. You're a legend in your own mind. I wish you'd keep it to yourself. Because you're in my face, it fills my space. It isn't good for my health. Well, I know you have a beautiful baby. He's wonderful in every way. But I didn't really need to know what was in his nappy yesterday. I don't want to hear about his favorite food, the way he likes to pick his nose, what new words he's learned to say, the color of his brand new clothes. Typical bloke. Oh, too much information. It's all just TMI. Your mouth never seems to stop moving, and your mind is never asking why. You're a legend in your own mind. I wish you'd keep it to yourself. Because you're in my face and it fills my space. It isn't good for my health. Elwyn Thomas, Greg Melville, thank you very much. I think we'll skip the slow one. Yeah. Well, this next one, it sounds autobiographical, but I always feel like I just need to say at the beginning that not all songs, like all stories, that start off with I, mean that they necessarily happen to me. Usually, I think most songwriters sort of collect together experiences that they've had, probably like other writers. You know, it's not all, obviously, you know, in order to think of something, you tend to draw on something that's happened to you, but then you tend to mix up different bits and pieces and then make bits up, and so most of my songs are like that anyway. So they draw on experience, but they're not entirely autobiographical. This one's called Work in the Morning, which I don't actually have tomorrow, I'm happy to say. I went out on a Sunday night. I saw a woman and she seemed so right. I really felt that she could fly my kite. It seemed to me that our future was bright and we might stay together all night. But she said, I've got work in the morning. I don't mean to be boring, but you might start snoring just when daylight is dawning. I don't want it to end, but unlike most of my friends, I've got work. The next weekend I saw her again. To me she seemed like a real number 10. I wrote her number with the barman's pen. Felt more happy than since I don't know when. But when I tried to kiss her, she told me again. I got work in the morning. I don't mean to be boring, but You know you might start snoring just when daylight is dawning. I don't want it to end, but unlike most of my friends, I've got work. I called her up, we arranged to meet. We went out for a bite to eat. You know, she looked so pretty, she seemed so sweet. And then she said, I'm ready, dude, and I'm feeling the heat. By the way, did I tell you that my name is Pete? So I said, I've got work in the morning. I don't mean to be boring, but you might start snoring just when daylight is dawning. I don't want it to end, but can we just stay like friends? I've got work. 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 I know I should be thankful, because I've got work. Of course, it depends what kind of work it is. I've got work. I've got work. I'd like to stay, but I've got work. Yes, I've got work. I got work. Let's just be friends, 'cause I've got work. Worst excuse ever. Thanks very much. I guess your show must be starting soon. Was that a bell ringing? Or? So I won't take it personally that you're now all leaving. It's nice, that bell. Again, it's reassuring that I know you're going to do something better. Hope it goes well. Enjoy it. And if you want to listen to any more of my songs, you can find my website, Stainless Steve. If you Google, I got all the songs up there in case you. And you can download them, and I'm giving them to you free of charge. On this particular occasion, on this Christmassy sort of New Year's-y day, I'm going to give away all my songs to you. And you can take them down the flea market and sell them and do whatever you like. Yeah, that's the kind of mood I'm in today. Expansive and generous. And so I think we're going to do one more. We might squeeze in two, but we'll see how it goes. Thanks very much for being a lovely audience, honestly. This is a great place to play. It's such fun and a nice atmosphere, and people are always very friendly, and you know, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. I think should we do? We better just do one, I think. We'll do two. Okay. This is a song about Hummers, you know, those ridiculously large vehicles, one of which is owned by somebody in Grangetown, around the corner from where I live. Why has somebody in Grangetown got a Hummer? I mean, does he drive it to Butetown and back? Do you really need, you know, I know we may get floods, but I guess he's preparing himself. Anyway, this is called Off the Road Again. driving down the road, he's the biggest thing in sight. Don't try to overtake unless you're looking for a fight. Windows are all tinted, he's too cool to be seen. He's got no badges on the back to tell you where he's been. He's burning up petroleum like it's going out of style. Takes 4 times as much as you for him to move a mile. He doesn't want to hear about that global warming stuff. He's paid his dues so he can use what he thinks is enough. Big wheels, big motor, he's a big man. There's nowhere in the world he can't drive to if he wants to. And you can bet your life he's going to drive there just because he can. Big wheels, big motor, he's a big man. Or so he thinks. Oh, sitting up inside that tank, he's safe as he can be. But he's nothing to feel good about as far as I can see. He's got air conditioning to make sure he is cool. But while he's cruising like a king, I think he's looking like a fool. In spite of everything he reads, he never seems to learn. Satellite positioning tells him where to turn. Every now and then he puts his foot down to the floor. It gives him such a thrill just to hear that engine roar. Chelsea tractor is a stupid thing to drive, but he thinks we're just jealous when we see him rolling by. He says he has to have a car that big to fit the shopping in. And hey man, since when was being comfortable supposed to be a sin? Showing off the stuff he's got is what he has to do. It's your lucky day because he's showing off to you. He thinks that small is beautiful won't get you very far, and that the size of thing you drive just shows the size of man you are. Big wheels, big motor, he's a big man. There's nowhere in the world he can't drive to if he wants to. And you can bet your life he's gonna drive there just because he can. Big wheels, a big motor, he's a big man. Thank you very much. It's all in fun, you know. Right, last one. This is a song about size. It's called Size Matters. But wait, it's got a... It might not be in the way that you think. To all the men in the audience. Actually, it's quite a nice follow-on from the previous one, isn't it? I hadn't realized a nice flow, something about size and... Anyway, this one, Size Matters. It doesn't matter if the car you drive is a Mini or a Jag. Doesn't matter if the things you own can all fit in a bag. Even though you're a big high roller, that's no excuse to brag. But when it comes to how big your heart is, size matters. When it comes to how big your heart is, size matters. It doesn't matter if the fish you catch is a tiddler or a shark. I don't care if your back garden is a doorstep or a park. It's nice to find out your bite is so much smaller than your bark. But when it comes to how big your heart is, size matters. When it comes to how big your heart is, size matters. Tell us, Helen. So important if your bank account is running into red. It doesn't matter if the hat you wear is too small for your head. I don't care if your feet stick out when you get into bed. But when it comes to how big your heart is, size matters. When it comes to how big your heart is, size matters. Maybe the only time it does. Oh, size matters. Yes, size matters. Size matters. Size matters, and your heart size matters. Ooh, sometimes size matters. Yeah, size matters. Helbert Thomas, Greg Melville, thanks ever so much for sitting and listening, and really been a lovely audience. Have a great night, because don't forget, when it comes to your heart, size matters.